Should you be buying OP-15 right now? My name is Dominic.
And my name is Nick.
And welcome back to Buds Watch, where we take a look at all things One Piece trading card game, but more of an emphasis on the collecting side of things. Quick giveaway announcement just before we get started. We do have a OP-14 booster box as well as a Chinese first anniversary Sanji PSA 10 that'll be going out to you guys at 5,000 subscribers. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, as well as be a U.S. resident. Okay, guys, let's get started for today. First thing I want to talk about, a little emergency announcement coming in from Bandai.
Wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo.
Emergency ban list announcement. Okay, I mean, are we shocked? Are we shocked here? They came out, okay, before the ban list came out, what is it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Everyone was like, I mean, they're going to ban Pudding, they're going to ban Borsalino, they're going to pair ban Borsalino and Rayquaza, they're going to ban the 8-cost Whitebeard event, they're going to ban the Emu stage, some people said Ground Death, some people said Dead Man's Game, the 1-cost Green event. There were so many cards being thrown around, and then Bandai came out and said,
How about Pudding only?
how about let's just do Pudding?
I mean, a great call by Bandai. Great call.
The Pudding ban is a great call.
Had to go.
I will say, playing the game without Pudding versus playing the game with Pudding, it's completely different.
Refreshing. Very refreshing.
I've been playing Lucy on the sim, and it is like, I mean, I get to a point sometimes where I have like literally 13 cards in my hand. I'm like, I mean, I don't care. I don't care. But anyways, Bandai came out. They did a very small ban compared to what everyone was assuming was going to happen. And now we have the announcement that they're going to be emergency banning. This is happening, I believe, tomorrow. So by the time this video comes out, you guys might already know, or it might be like a few hours by the time. I don't know. You guys will probably know by now. But that's crazy. I mean, everyone's assuming this is because of Borsalino and Rayquaza. Do you have any spicy take here, or you just think it's Borsalino and Rayquaza?
Well, my spicy take is I don't think it's going to be Borsalino. I think it's going to be a pair ban with Rayquaza or a outright Rayquaza ban. Mm-hmm. There is also the possibility that it might just be a pair ban with Hiyori as well as Borsalino. I don't think they're going to ban Hiyori, but I could see the pair ban between Borsalino and Rayquaza, Borsalino with Hiyori, all three combined. I could definitely see that. That combination is really what makes the deck overpowered. And the reason why this is really important, which we're going to go through a whole discussion about our takes on OP-15 in a later part of this video, but Borsalino's a card that's mighty expensive right now. Mighty, that's insane for an SR. $50 for an SR is way too much money. I know we're still in pre-release, but I mean, the price of that.
And if things stayed the same, I genuinely think it would keep going up. I think it would be a $70 SR.
I mean, you're talking about a staple in every yellow deck.
Every single yellow.
At every single yellow deck, that they're going to want 4 copies of this in a meta dominated by yellow. Yeah. So you have an overwhelming majority of the player base right now in need of this card. With, of course, there's still being some supply issues. Well, it's not like OP-15 was printed in abundance. It's not like you're seeing it sitting on shelves. So, I mean, locally for us, we'll get to your video that you made, the 100-pack video. We had four boxes, you know? So it's not something that you're widely able to get. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, why this is important for collectors, of course. I mean, if you're, for God forbid, a Borsalino. You know any Borsalino collectors?
If you're out there, write in the comments below, because I don't believe it, no.
I mean,
if there's a Kuma collector, man. I swear I saw someone write one time saying they were trying to get the Kuma SEC alt-art, man. So yeah, it's possible.
If you are a Borsalino collector, then you guys are probably going to want to hold off until you guys know if Borsalino is getting banned or if there's going to be a pair ban between Borsalino and Rayquaza. I haven't heard the Borsalino and Hiyori pair ban. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't know, actually. I don't know which one I would choose. I would probably be the Borsalino Rayquaza. It would probably just be that, to be honest, for me. I also hope they honestly just hit the 8-cost Ace event. I'll be honest. Like, the Whitebeard event, oh my God.
Yeah, man, you were just really tired of Ace, aren't you, man?
I'm
you got PTSD
so
from
tired.
You got some trauma from yesterday, man. We'll get to that in a second. But to transition well into what we're going to discuss next, which is our experience at the Pomona Regional.
Yeah.
Emu. Is Emu finally going to get touched after another very good performance throughout the entire tournament yesterday? That's the question. I don't know. I mean, what would the ban look like? Never existed. Finally going to get the boot. I can't imagine they get rid of Ground Death, because if they get rid of Ground Death, you're screwing over.
No, I don't think they're going to get
a lot of.
I don't think they're going to get rid of Ground Death. I think my perfect Emu hit would just be pair ban Ground Death and Emu. I think that would just be like the only thing where I'd be like, okay, that would be good. Because Emu still has the one cost 3K counter that he can go to. It's not like he doesn't have other counter events that he can go to.
They can go to. They can go
Oh
to.
yeah.
If
They
you
could
know,
go
you
to.
know.
Yeah. But I don't know. Not to stay too long on the card performance kind of stuff, but yeah, I it'll be interesting to see what the ban list does, and if you guys are a collector, you guys should still be paying attention to ban list cards because if a card gets hit, and it has a cool alt art that you want or a cool SP that you want, then it is very likely that that card takes a freaking 50% tumble on most times. So.
AKA putting SP from PRBO2.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely keep a lookout for that. We'll most likely be talking about this in next week's episode as well. All right. Well, we also, like Nick just said, we went to Pomona Regionals, and there was a Treasure Cup. It was a 2-day thing. There was a Regionals the first day, Treasure Cup the second day. We went to try to get in. Let's just talk about our experience here. We went to try to get in to the regional event the first day. Didn't get in. It was unlucky.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Bro, but I mean, I was just so unbelievably shook at how many freaking people were at this event, dude. It was genuinely unbelievable. I mean, we'll have a picture right here. Look at this picture, seriously. Take your time to look at this picture on screen. If you're at work or whatever, do it later. Whatever, if you're driving, definitely do it later. But look at this picture, unbelievable. Like the amount of people at this freaking trading card game tournament is genuinely one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Got to see your heads over there, man. See your heads. You look out, all you see is
Thousands.
heads. Man.
I think there was like 2,000 people at this one event in this kind of like, I'm not gonna say small venue, but it's smaller convention center that I've seen. One of the smaller ones that I've seen, just because we've been to the Anaheim Convention Center, and that one's huge,
Massive.
But I mean, the room was packed, literally packed to the brim of people. Like we didn't even get off the wait list, which was really sad. And this is like 1,000-person tournament or 1,500-person tournament. So we didn't get into regionals. We did play some ciders. That was really fun. We also met some of you guys who watched the podcast, which was also really fun. It was really great to be out there and meet a lot of you guys and meet some of the players that were really cool. I don't know. That was my like first initial impression of this regional event. Just like, wow, this trading card game. Like I knew it was popular, but I didn't know it had emotion like that, bro.
I can tell y'all one thing from going to this event, and that's the main reason we wanted to go was to get out there in the community more. We wanted, obviously to participate and play, but mostly just go see what it's all about. This is our first time ever going to a regional event here, even though they're always in our backyard. We're in Southern California, and the regionals are typically always based in Southern California through core TCG. No joke. My first initial gut reaction was, God damn, this card game is healthy, man. I tell you, dude, the amount of people here, and in comparison to, like, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I saw photos over the weekend of, like, some Gundam event or something. There was another TCG event going on, and they were showing, like, an empty hall out there. And it just really makes you take a step back.
And not to come at Gundam, you're just
of course, but I'm just saying, it might not have even been Gundam. It was just some sort of trading card event where it was an empty venue, of course. For Dragon Ball Fusion World, one of the main discussions from last year, a couple years ago, was that their regional event wasn't even sold out. There was a bunch of open spots. You could just walk up and play, which, I mean, of course, it's possibility still available for One Piece, but showing up here and seeing that many people, my immediate reaction was, damn, card game looking mighty healthy right now. Regardless of the double boom, regardless of the correction, I can tell you one thing, the players are still here. But when you also consider the fact that there are only 2 regionals in the U.S. That take place throughout a certain time. So typically there's one more centered towards the East Coast side and one towards the West Coast side. Last week was Mesquite, even though it's on the East Coast, but it was in Mesquite, Texas. And, this is the only West Coast regional. So you have people traveling, not only from the East Coast, because we saw several players who are, I don't even know if they would be deemed a professional player. I mean, I'd say they're a professional player. They have multiple top 8 placements. So there were people with a lot of high placements traveling throughout the country.
I would consider these pro players because, I mean, the Bandai, we talk about this all the time, but the prize cards, like, these people are, like, the people who won the Treasure Cup yesterday won, like, $30K worth of cards.
But I guess the question is, what what defines a professional player? Is it you winning a serialized card? You're not a professional player. Like there's no clear guidance.
I'm. That's actually funny. When we used to play COD,
Yeah,
I remember
top
there was
16.
no, I actually remember it being. Was it top 16 or top 8?
It depends on the game actually, because I remember it was top 8. But you technically were a professional player at top 12 at one point.
Yeah,
So,
I remember like specifically in Black Ops 2, there was like this clear like if you get top 8, you're a professional Call of Duty player. And like you could have that title. People put in their like
yep.
Twitter bios.
You get the pass. That's why you get the MLG
Yeah,
pass.
yeah,
It
yeah.
said pro player.
Yeah. And I think it's funny that you said that. I would consider like it's funny because I'm about to say the same thing, but I would say like if you get top 8 at a card game like regularly, I would say like maybe like a couple times, I would consider you a pro player because you're getting so much money worth of cards, not just once. Like it's not just a fluke. It's not just based on luck. You've done it a couple times, which means you really are that good. But that's just Dom headcanon shit. Like I'm not saying it ain't a science.
No, it
ain't a science.
The
bro.
reason it's tough, which actually again connects to the next thing we're going to discuss, which is our day 2 experience at Treasure Cup, is there's just so much RNG intertwined into card games. And look, anyone who's played a card game, you understand that, right? You understand. But the reason why I mention that is you could have somebody who is like, this guy is the GOAT. He went to represent NA one year at Worlds, and then he could just have a bad meta, and then he could have an entire bad year just of running bad at an event and not get a top 64 placement. Does that mean they're no longer a pro player? There's no defined. It's just all gray area. That's why I don't know. Like I said, the way I categorize it, you can categorize it as a pro player. I'm categorizing it as there was a lot of very, very good players traveling throughout the country to this event, which goes back to the whole point I'm trying to say, which is the card game is very healthy and that it was in full effect throughout this weekend in Pomona.
And this is important. Why we bring this up on a collector's podcast when we're talking about the game here, is just because with the kind of announcement from Bandai that they were reprinting things and the scare, like just a bunch of people being scared about collecting it. Is Bandai going to reprint things, or is the card game going to die? And blah blah blah. You hear a lot of this yapping, and this I guarantee you, the One Piece trading card game from a player's perspective is the most healthy. It's the biggest it's ever been. The people who left a Riftbound. I saw a tweet. And someone said, everybody who left a Riftbound is now back into One Piece, which is like, One Piece is the best trading card game.
Told you so.
It's the best trading card game. It is what it is. So One Piece is not going anywhere. Super healthy player base, which is huge because you need players. Players need collectors, and collectors need players. And the players are still here and very healthy, which means collectors can thrive, which... It's all a loop.
We need that
cycle
balance.
of life, man.
We need that kumbaya, man.
It's the cycle of life,
we
man.
need to all connect hands together around the One Piece trading card game. But this goes into our day 2.
We got in.
Hold on, before we get there was something that happened beforehand. Speaking of the health of the game and the players base that is still here, why don't you go tell these fine folks about our experience trying to register for regionals over in LA upcoming this June. How about you start that?
Bro.
How about you start with that?
Oh my gosh. We literally tried to register for regionals coming up in June.
By they I don't mean core TCG. This was probably a call made by Bandai. Which Bandai? What are we doing? What are we doing? They made an announcement that
I don't even know if it was an announcement.
No, it was announced in the core TCG Discord.
Oh, core, yeah.
Yeah,
sure,
no,
okay,
Bandai didn't announce it. Which Bandai needs to have some sort of communication in terms of. Some sort of X account. I know you mentioned this, like LOL Esports. They need to have like a LOL Esports X account where they're just constantly announcing, like, hey guys, you can register for this tournament this day.
Yeah, LA Regional sign up.
I feel like it's a disservice to the community that the trading card shops are the ones who have to announce this. But on the flip side, I can understand a devil's advocate argument, which is Bandai likely just tells the trading card shops, like, hey, you qualify for this, take care of it. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of see both, but there should be just a greater amount of communication. You can never go wrong with communication, in my opinion. The more communication, the better.
I agree.
But got word, so we get home from Pomona at 7:30 on Saturday, and I'm over there, just chilling, exhausted from the full day, and I see a notification from the core TCG Discord, and what's it say? Hey guys, just letting you know, tomorrow at 9 a.m. is going to be the registration window for the June Regional in Los Angeles. And the first thing came to my mind was,
bro, there's an event today.
People are supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, be able to register for the waitlist lottery.
For Treasure Cup.
For Treasure Cup. They said 9:30, by the way, which we'll get to this, when we talked about our day 2 experience, but 9:30. And then not only that, people who are going to be competing in Treasure Cup are probably going to be there around 10 o'clock. Do you think everyone lives 20 minutes away? This is Southern California. This is Los Angeles County. Mm-hmm. I mean, it took us an hour and a half to get there. What are we doing? Yep. What are we doing? So Dom over there working 2 phones, man. We're looking like Kevin Gates over there, man.
Nick and I.
Looking like Kevin Gates over there, because us, Buds, we always emphasize safety here, man.
He does not.
We don't play no reindeers games when it comes to safety of the drivers, man. Safety in general. But anyway, so Dom over there, 2 phones looking like Kevin Gates, trying to save us. And
trying to register.
What happened, Dom?
Didn't get in. We were literally there. It comes out at 9:00, and I was there at 9:00:01, clicking that button, and we both didn't get in. That is how competitive it is to get in these damn events. It was a 1,000-person tournament, sold out. It cost $37 to get into this tournament, by the way. Sold out in literally seconds.
Card game ain't going anywhere. Again, from a collector's perspective, this should be like...
I'll say it again.
There should be some beautiful hymns going on in your ears right now in terms of the confidence that this should be reaffirming.
I'll say it again. This is the best trading card game ever made. I don't care. Talk to a wall. This is the best trading card game ever made, dude. It's so fun to play. Anyways, Treasure Cup. My boy Nick, man. There was a second there.
I'm out here crying the club, man.
So we both got into the Treasure Cup. Which was nice. We got there at 9:10. We scanned the QR code. It said we'll draw at approximately 9:30.
QR code said it's close.
And let's just say they drew at approximately 9:10.
Yeah, they did.
To be fair, we got it anyway. But yeah, that was a little bit of a mishap. But it's all good. We got it anyway. Then we got in. My boy Nick brought Zorro. And now Zorro is not really the best deck.
Sometimes by comfort, man. Sometimes you just got to be about
My boy brought the Rogue Zorro, man. Started off what, 5-0?
4-0.
4-0. Bro, I thought you were going to win the event for a second, man. I really did. I thought you were about to win that event.
Ain't nothing more than I wanted in this world than to get handed serialized Zorro and immediately pass it over to you, man. People watching at home might be like,
my God.
What?
Literally.
What? Dom and I were talking about this because we just, after every round, we just go outside, go for a walk, talk about it. I told Dom I'd give him the serialized Zorro, and Dom said, this is the equivalent of like the one homie pass for the lifetime. Like, this is like, your homie walks up to you and said, hey, man, I need you to do this for me. This is.
Yeah, you'd never be able to ask for anything again,
this
bro.
is like the thing that I need you to do for me. So
You would have handed me that Zorro card, I would have got on my knees on the spot, bro.
In public? Pause. Unpause. All right. So, tragically, man. Okay, first of all, what I want to say is shout out to our locals over here at a hidden fortress.
Man. They all did well.
Walking into round 5, right? So I was 4-0. One of the homies from locals told me at one point that he looked me up. He was just looking at the rankings, and I was 10th on the rank ladder with Green Zorro, the
1,000-person tournament,
the rogue deck himself. Unfortunately, man, we couldn't keep.
All good, man.
Couldn't keep the momentum.
Listen, man, couldn't keep up the pace, but for a second we were thinking that you were about to win that, man.
Sometimes you make mental errors. Sometimes game's not in your favor. But the reason why I'm shouting out our local community, we got to round 5, and so they have people who are undefeated going in the front couple rows, and I sit down. A guy sits down in front of me. Guy I recognize from locals. I'm like, oh shit.
Look to your left.
They look to my right. Guy sits down. Guy from locals, and we had the equivalent of the Spider-Man meme. We're all like, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. So it was super cool.
Which means that they were all 4-0.
Yeah, we were all 4-0 at that point. The guy who ended up beating me did end up placing top 32, so congratulations to Tony_TWT, man. I highly doubt you're going to watch this, my dude, but he ended up next to me at the X1 table at one point. He sat down, and I was like, damn, dude, I was really rooting for you. And he was like, I know, man, same was I. So was I. But, ended up, I had some highs. I beat a Mihawk, which felt great.
Good job,
Anybody who knows anything about the Zorro matchup, everyone hates this. Everyone thinks Zorro's trash because of Mihawk and how prevalent Mihawk is in the meta currently right now. I was able to get the dub against one, And it's funny, every time I sat down, as we got later rounds, people would be like, is that green Zoro? Is that green Zoro over there?
Why are you running that, man?
Is that green Zoro over there? No way. Ended up finishing 6-4. Fortunately, just had some unlucky games. My last 5, 10-round tournament.
It's a brutal one.
Way too long, in my opinion. But when you consider 1,000 people, what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? Yeah. Now Dom over here, we had a whole shift in the momentum of the buds while we were there, man. Yeah. So all the hope was in me. Dom, you started off like what, 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2. Yeah.
Dom started off 3-2. And then he caught the heat that I lost, bro. It's like we had a passing of the torch. Yeah, so I went from 4-0 to 6-4, and then going to the last round, Dom was 7-2.
7-2, yeah.
7-2. Which, by the way, the reason why you should care as a collector, one thing that we learned is that if you go X2, you're automatically guaranteed top 64, which means you get a regional card.
We would have got the GARP. I would have got the GARP.
Would have got the GARP.
Couldn't bring it home, though. All good. I made a misplay. All good. Not going to talk about it, but all good. All good. I think for our first regionals, I think we did good.
Ended up 114th, 129. 114th, 129 out of 1,000 players.
Not bad.
It's hard to keep the head down from that. I mean, I will be lying to you if I said I wasn't looking like La in shambles.
Yeah.
After that one on the car ride home, man. Just having the feeling of like, holy shit, I'm actually doing it. Mm-hmm. In the moment. Getting that bubble pop. Now, a day later reflecting on it. Just happy I was there. I was there. I really appreciate that it reaffirmed a couple of things. But mostly, I always thought our local community was really good. Fun fact, one of the guys from our local community that Dom has faced multiple times, top 4.
Top 4. Shout out Matt.
Top 4.
Shout out Matt.
Not only that, another guy, top 3 too. Peachon. Shout out Peachon.
Shout out to the goats, man.
So, several people from our local community finishing top 64. I was like, damn, bro. I remember there was like a flip of a switch at one point when the boom started going off, where it was like, you show up there'd be 8 people. I'd typically go like 3-1, maybe 4-0, and then all of a sudden it's like 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, and I was like, dude, what am I just garbage at the game? Like, what's going on? Am I just trash? Take a step back. It's all about perspective, man. Looking back on it, being able to compete at a national tournament. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a national tournament. Even though it might be a West Coast regional, it's still a national tournament. You have people traveling around the country to play here, and, getting 6 wins on a road deck. Hard to be mad at myself for that.
Can't be mad.
Just like you, man. You got 7 wins. 7 wins.
It was fun.
Against 2 emus. 2 emus, man.
I got 1 win on the emu, man.
You got paired against emu twice. Don played UP Luffy, which, if you know anything about the matchup, is
bad matchup.
Awful in the emu. Anyways.
Really good event. Super, super happy we went. It was, One Piece trading card game, more popular than you guys even understand, and that's awesome. It's so good. Game is not going anywhere. Game is just continuing to be more and more popular. It was great to be there. It was great to play. I'm so excited to continue to play. Nick and I have a store championship coming up this weekend.
Got no turnaround time. I'm telling you, dude. These are just back to back. We went from Heroines Cup to Treasure Cup at the store, Trollers Treasure Cup, into regionals, into store championship. Yeah. You can't get a break in this house, well, man. I need it, God.
So we got some prep to do. It's been fun. It's been awesome. And it's also really great to meet some of you guys as well. So really, 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 really fun. But title of this video, got to talk about OP-15. We got to talk about what you guys are here for, which is for us to give our takes, for us to talk about OP-15. Should you buy it? Should you hold off? Should you say, fuck that card? Doesn't have a good treasurer. We're going to talk about all these, man. We're going to talk about all these.
Pretty good treasurer. That's a pretty good treasurer.
Pretty good treasurer. So, OP-15. OP-15. Let's just, real quick, before we get started on all the little prices, immediate reaction to OP-15. What do you think? 1 through 10. Give me a 1 through 10 rating of OP-15 mixed with EBO form.
It's such a hard question. And the reason why I say it's a hard question is because if you just replace the mangas, bro, it might be one of the best. It might be.
Wow.
It might be a B+ tier right ahead OP-14. But when you look at the Kobe and the Nell manga, don't get me wrong, the Nell manga is super cool.
It's pretty dope.
Kobe manga though, man. Kobe manga,
it's one of the worst.
A little underwhelmed.
It's bottom 3.
A little underwhelmed, I mean very underwhelmed with
it's that one. Joined an exclusive club of Rayleigh, Soga King,
shout out,
and Kobe. That is the.
Well, that's the
bottom 3 right there.
That is the trifecta right there for the One Piece.
You know how they say big 3? That's a small 3 right there, man.
Ooh, that's kind of a bar. But the Enel manga, I think, is definitely cool. I'm not going to say it's not. I've seen it. It's a very cool card. So I would say I would put it just after OP-14 in my personal tier list. So that would be like in between B plus. I think I would still slot it ahead of OP-12 and OP-06 just because the SPs in the set are just fantastic. I'm not going to give a spoiler alert for our 100-pack video, but we'll just say I've seen an SP.
It was a good video. You guys should watch it.
I've seen an SP up close and personal from this set, and my God.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. Okay, so yeah, I'm
I didn't give you a number. I mean, I said B plus, so we'll just say I'll give it 8. If we're going 1 to 10, 10's like 8 plus. We'll go like 8. We'll go 8. 8.6. 8.6. 8.
That's high.
8.6. Actually, 8.65. 8.65.
That's high.
We'll give a little figure skating number.
Okay. All right. What am I giving it? What do I think it's above? Do I think it's above OP-14? That's just a really good question. That's such good.
I feel like that's the groundwork you need to start on.
I think overall the SPs are better in OP-15, but OP-14 has the better SP. Just because I think Bulbasaur is one of the greatest cards.
I can't ship that train just because I haven't seen the Zeus in person. God knows what that big fart bubble looks like, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
That is true.
If they can make that bubble look like that, what's that cloud looking like, man? That's all I'm saying.
So I think I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say it's just on the same tier as OP-14. I'm probably going to be giving it like a 7.5. I'd say, yeah, like a 7.5. But also, I'm a little bit more strict on my grading scale.
Yeah, you gotta make that nice and clear for the people.
Yeah,
Dom's on a different universe when it comes to grading stuff. This guy would be like, yeah, no, this is pretty good. I'm like, oh, what are you giving it 1 to 10? He's like, 6.5.
Yeah, so 7.5, that's pretty good. That's pretty good in my head. So, yeah, overall, I think the set is really, really strong. It's funny because I said it was shit when we were first getting reveals, but I was completely wrong. I had to eat my words on that.
Got caught in 4K, man.
Yeah,
Got exposed, dude.
Definitely.
I remember someone immediately commented after that happened.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
You gotta wait for the SPs, man.
Yep.
Chill out.
No, shout out that guy, man.
And he was right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Get that man a podium.
Yep. Absolutely.
Get that man a podium. All right. Now let's talk about the booster box. Booster box price is rocking at let me see, $239. $239. So OP-14, $215 right now, just for kind of like comparison sakes. I think it's probably higher than what it's going to be in the short term. That's where my head goes immediately. I think this will probably range between 190 and 220 probably for the next 6 months. That's just what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be 190 to 220, maybe 230 for the next 6 months. And then, of course, long term, this is a strong booster box with really good cards. It'll very likely go up over time. That's just where my head is at with the booster box. I'm not sure if you have a different opinion, but that's where I'm at.
That's actually the same exact range I was going to give.
Okay,
sure. Speaking of eating words, I know you're eating your words on OP-15 overall because you didn't see the SPs and you said this is going to be a mid-set. I'm eating my words about OP-14 in terms of what the booster box pricing ended up looking like versus where I thought it was going to be. And, we discussed this several times here that we thought OP-14 was going to be that canary in the coal mine, giving us some guidance in terms of what we can expect going forward. I expect this set to follow a very similar trajectory to OP-15. Best time to buy is probably going to be in the next couple months once all of this stuff floods the market, and then you can look to pick up some boxes. I think where OP-14 is at, currently at $214 a box, very fair price to where you're probably going to see OP-15 come out to. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if you see that go down to that 190 mark. I think that's actually pretty spot on.
Yeah,
to where I can foresee it going.
That's where I don't think there's any. I don't think you need to feel any FOMO or rush to be buying it at $240 a box. Like when we were talking about OP-14, the market was in just such a insane state that was only remedied. It was only remedied from an announcement from Bandai. If Bandai never did an announcement, I am fully confident that OP-14 would be like $300 a box right now. I truly believe that, and that's why I think that communication was perfect timing, chef's kiss, right before EBO3. Great job, Bandai.
Great job, Bandai.
Great job out there, man. So yeah, that's where I'm at on the booster box. No reason. I don't think you need to go out and sell the kidney. Make sure you get this price right here, right now. I think you got time. I think you got the next 6 months at least to accumulate these booster boxes. I will say, for the people, again, who are hoping for like 130, 140, 150.
Getting the raffle, man.
We are in a different time. I just don't see that happening until there's, I guess, the more production from Bandai, which we know is coming. Some people rumored 2027, but I don't know. We'll have to see when that actually happens, but it's not happening with this one.
To be fair, you still can get boxes, and the number one job, whether you're a collector, player, investor, whatever it is to try to get a booster box for the cheapest price as possible. If you play at your locals regularly, you can probably get a couple boxes for a discounted price. All depends on your local card shop, which is why it's so important to get out to your community. And if you're a collector, play the game. If you're a player, go and intermingle with collectors a little bit who show up there. Want to learn the card game, be nice, embrace them, help grow your community, be a leader. Because, like I said, you definitely get more access to product the more you expose yourself to your trading card shops and to your local community. So definitely continue to try to do that, and always try to get your boxes for the lowest price possible.
Of course, yeah. Always try to win your raffles on Premium Bandai. Play the game so you can get some MSRP boxes from your local card shop. All that stuff. Definitely do that. But if you don't do any of that, then I don't think you need to feel FOMO. I think you'll likely have a better price to get here, and I think you can accumulate over the next 6 months. Okay, next is the manga. So we have Kobe and Enel.
I saw one Kobe sale right now pre-release, and it was like $1,300 on eBay. Way too high. Yep. I saw one sale for it.
I'm hearing this stank face, man.
Yeah, I saw one sale for it. I mean, to be fair, it was one sale, and it was like $1,300. So, to summarize this very quickly, do not pay $1,300 for a manga Kobe, guys. Do not do it. Do not do it. I like Dom was mentioning the FOMO for the boxes. Do not feel the FOMO. If Kobe's one of your favorite characters and you want to see him ball and chain locked up, shout out Akon.
I'm locked up, won't let me out.
Then you go ahead and wait a couple months. Definitely wait a couple months. Wait for all these mangas.
These are selling for $1,100.
Oh, sorry, that was $1,100 and now was $1,300. I apologize. So
no, you're right. No, this sold for $1,300. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying it's these are selling 1187, 1161, 1250, 13. You're wrong. You're right.
Again, to just reiterate what I'm saying, wait a couple months for all of these to flood into the market. I think long term, this is likely going to be at a similar price to where Rayleigh is at. I think where Soga King is at for sure. It might be a little bit more. Kobe
saw some room.
Kobe has some decent fans.
He's got some time to shine.
Kobe's got a lot of room. He's got a lot of room to grow. I'm not gonna say Kobe is story's been told, right? Like, there's a lot of room there. So
I think we just kind of go back to like the comic book stuff. How like comic book and like investor or collectors would speculate on what character would be introduced into the MCU, and then they would buy a comic, and then if that character was introduced into MCU, then that comic would go to the moon.
Comic book spec.
I will say, wow.
Saying Kobe spec? You got Kobe spec, huh?
I think Kobe is going to be one of those characters. I mean, he showed some immense strength.
Honesty.
Yeah. With the honesty impact. And this guy is super strong, and we know that Kobe, at some point, is probably going to have to face off against Luffy. And he can't be no schmuck. He can't be no schmuck if he's
I got a hot take.
GOAT.
This isn't even a spoiler, bro. I got a hot take. It's not even a spoiler. Come on, man. Luffy and Kobe are at some point going to go fusion.
I think it's going to be one of those like typical things where like Kobe's like, I have to fight you. And then Luffy's like, don't fight. We can't do this. And then eventually Kobe's like, no, I can't do. The government is too bad, and then they join up.
Yes, exactly, dude. There has been such groundwork laid of a Kobe turn,
but I think at one point they'll fight. Dude, is what I'm saying.
Hell no, dude.
And
that wouldn't even be a competition.
That's why I'm saying dude, Kobe has to scale up hard.
Kobe would need a legit like hyperbolic time chamber for 10 years. If you've watched Dragon Ball, So the whole point of that, I know you haven't watched Dragon Ball, so you don't know. Yeah. The whole point of the hyperbolic time chamber is it slows down time in there versus in real reality. So like a year in the hyperbolic time chamber is equivalent to like a minute in real life. That man would need to be in the hyperbolic time chamber for the equivalent of 10 years in the outside world to be anywhere close to where Luffy's at right now, man.
But
Jesus Christ.
I think Kobe's gonna continue to get really big power-ups, and I think he's going to play a big part in the story. And I think at some point in the future, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 2 years, I think there can be some speculative stuff that goes into Kobe. And I think that maybe Kobe gets more fans, maybe something like that happens, and then maybe people start looking at this manga because it's the first one. I just think objectively this is a weak manga. This guy is literally chained up, bro. This guy's literally chained up,
Ball and chain,
bro.
man. Ball and chain.
So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be buying this at 1100, but there's some speculative stuff that I could see in the future. But for right now, bottom 3, bro. Bottom 3.
I think if you're looking for what a guesstimate price is, I think it's going to end up in terms of a bottom. I would compare it to the Bonnie manga on a good day. On a good day, I'd compare it to the Bonnie manga. I think
you're crazy, bro.
Bonnie is a supernova character. You could still make the argument about the spec. You have some light you can shine on Kobe. You have some light that could come back to Bonnie. I know your whole take was that you feel like Bonnie's story is over, and I had the complete opposite take on that. And I think there's still a lot of story to be told with Bonnie, and I think she is going to get the limelight going into the future for sure. But I think that would be a more comparable price. So you think, what does Bonnie go for? $700, so $600 to $700. No pun intended, but. Just don't buy it at this price, guys. I'm not a fortune teller. We're not fortune tellers here. All we can do is tell you our best guesstimate and give you some value here. But what I can tell you, if you see 1000 next to that card, I would not pick it up.
This might be the last thing I would buy.
Personally.
Might be the last thing I would buy. And then we have the Enel manga. So last 2 sales, 1500.
Still too high. Way too high.
1500.
Way too high, in my opinion.
It's a cool manga, and a lot of ton of speculation that Enel is going to come back.
It is also meta. I mean, so there is going to be a little premium for that, but let's not forget about the whole Mihawk situation. There's still a bunch of speculation about Mihawk being impactful in the show. I would say comparable to Enel. That Mihawk card in particular is very meta. So I think that could be a 1-to-1 ratio, and that Mihawk card is going for what, like $800 right now, raw? It's going for something like that. It's going for around like $800, $900 raw. So I think that is a more acceptable amount that I would look for the NL card.
800
personally. Whatever the Mihawk is at. I looked it up earlier today and I'm blanking. I want to say it's like right around 900. So I would say like $800 to $900 I think is fair for that card. But again, end of the day, do not pay $1,500 for this card. Do not pay $1,500 for this card. You're in no rush. Don't feel the need for any FOMO. If you're a diehard NL fan, if you just really like the card, you think it's super cool art, say you collect every manga, in the entire card game, and that's your preference, don't buy that right now. Go ahead, you go. Wait about 2 to 3 months now.
Near mint 800. You're right. We're on the nose, man.
Almost like we do research here. Almost like we come here prepared, huh?
Wow.
Almost like we come here prepared.
Wow, I like that out of you, man. So yeah, those 2 mangas. Think you can wait on those. But there's some speculation. There's some speculation.
There could be some spec in terms of what a fair price is, for sure.
Now let's talk about the best thing of this set: the SPs.
Ooh, wow.
Let's talk about these damn SPs.
Wow.
I mean, unbelievable SPs. Literally, some of the best SPs again that they've ever made. It feels like I'm saying that every single set, but it's because they're one up each themselves. Literally every single set. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So we have the Zeus SP, the Edward Newgate SP, the Law SP. We have 2 Sabo SPs.
Crazy. Luffy SP,
Boa SP,
Law SP.
We have so many. We have
Nell SP.
Same SPs. Again, we have the 9 SPs. 9 SPs in this set as well, which means they're going to be harder to hit. So these SPs are going to be more rare than usual. Usually we have 5 or 6 SPs. Usually 6, I believe. So these SPs are again going to be more rare than usual, just like OP-14. So I think these are going to command a slightly larger premium. And then you add that with the fact that these SPs are some of the most meta cards in the entire game right now. Like the Law is the 6-cost Law that you run in Zoro, that basically every green deck runs, is the 6-cost Law. Edward Newgate, one of the best blue cards. It's used in Ace, and every Ace needs 4 of these. And I mean, so I think a lot. The thing with these ones is I think there's demand from both sides. There's the demand from the players who want to bling out their deck, and there's going to be a lot of liquidity that goes into these cards from them. And then, of course, the demand from the collectors who want to get these as well. So it's like dual-sided liquidity for these SPs. More than usual, it feels like, just because of how good these freaking cards are. But I also think that's a double-edged sword because, like, what if the 8-cost event gets banned, right? For the new gate. 8-cost new gate.
If 8-cost event gets banned, I still think Ace.
I still think it's good.
I think
still think
Ace
it's
is
good.
running for
But do you think there's a dip in this card? Is what I'm saying.
I think that all just depends on whether or not people are continuing to play the deck. If the 8-cost new gate event card does get banned, do I think Ace is going to take a dip in terms of playability? Yeah, but Ace is still a very, very strong deck. And I think there's iterations of Ace that you can make to where delaying your turn to play new gate one turn later is not the end of the world. Personally, I think there's cards you could probably run in that slot that is going to be beneficial to you still. I mean, you can play double Marco. Obviously, having the new gate big body is more impactful, but especially in a world of no pudding, I can see a double Marco play. You just grab 5 cards.
Okay.
Literally.
That's fair. I know that's fair.
I mean, so I don't think it's the end of the world for Ace. And also, BY Nami runs, I mean, you yourself, you ran a couple new gates, so I do think that that card isn't going anywhere drastically if that 8-card event does, the I Am Whitebeard event card does get banned. But to refocus back on OP-14, one thing for sure is I'm learning from my own mistake. I learned from my own mistake. That's one thing we always emphasize here is as a collector, you got to just learn over time. And OP-14 being the Wild Wild West it was with all the chaos going on, I definitely overpaid for a lot of these SPs. Definitely overpaid, but for these in particular, especially the meta ones, I'm gonna let the market tell me what it's worth. I'm gonna let the market tell me what it's worth.
The thing is that OP-14 was such a unique time where like it could have genuinely went. Like I said, if Bandai did not make the communication post that they did, I think you made the smart play, for sure. Like I think there's some like the Weevil.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like there are some, this all connects back to Bud's order operations, little boo action. But I think there are some SPs which we're gonna get to. You're talking about them specifically. I think there's some SPs from the set that are gonna retain more value than others.
Yeah.
And I think there are some that are gonna retain value because they are very meta, and there's others that are probably gonna retain less value.
Yeah,
that's just the way the structure works. So.
But we are not in the time period that we were back in OP-14, thankfully, because of the communication from Bandai. That honestly did such a... I can't overstate how good of an announcement that was, because it really did recalibrate the market, which is fantastic.
Perfect timing, too. That was like 3 days before EBO3?
So good. Seriously, so good. Anyway, so let's talk about these SPs, and you guys are going to hear a lot of the same stuff for a lot of these cards, to be honest, from us. So... Newgate, $381.95. So, like I said, this is an extremely meta card. Very, very good card. So damn good. I still think it's going to go down. I do still think it's going to go down. And also why I bring up the dual kind of liquidity thing from both sides of the coin is because if this card does see less play, or Ace is definitely seeing less play. But to be fair, this is coming out when Ace is already seeing less play. So, like, at the start of it. So, I don't think we'll see, like, anything, like, major or anything like that. But I will say, like, I do see maybe this card seeing a little bit of a drop because, of course, it's pre-release. But I also see there being maybe a little bit of a drop from people buying it right now because they want to play Ace. And then maybe they play Ace in the next meta. And maybe they just don't like playing Ace in that meta, and maybe it goes down some more.
A little Demon God Pack perspective. I remember that was your same logic. Is that you recommended people wait until Emu started moving out of the meta because of how many people were buying these cards to play with, and then once Emu started shifting out of the meta, which is definitely not happening anytime soon, you thought the more Demon God Packs were going to hit. So you think it's going to be something similar with this guy? I just don't know how good Ace is going to be in the next meta yet. So this is just pending. Put a pin in it. We'll maybe come back to this one. I just want to, for all the collectors out there who don't play the game, don't give a shit about playing the game, and you just want to know about the collectability of something.
A lot of the price for this, like the Newgate card, will be in the playability of it. It is a really cool card. Don't get me wrong, it's a really cool card. I just don't think Newgate is the most like collectible character out there. So I do think this is high. Like 381 is high. I think it'll come down. And even if it doesn't come down right now, I think eventually it will 100% come down. Is what I'll say. Any take on that?
No, I agree. I think it's definitely going to come down. Which, spoiler by the way for everything. I think pretty much 90% of these SPs are going to go down. I think there's a couple that I'm unsure about that we'll discuss. But yeah, no, this one I could definitely see it going into the ones. It wouldn't shock me if there's a 1 in front of that card.
So, yeah,
I could see
that.
150,
Like
150, 175, like bottom. But we'll, time will tell. We'll see.
Okay, so that's Newgate out of the way. Then there's a big one, Zeus SP.
This is the one of those ones where
one of those ones, huh?
It's tough.
There's a lot going for this one.
It's really tough, and the reason
Actually,
why.
let me say the price.
Go ahead.
$778. Okay, go ahead.
This one's tough, and the reason why it's tough is because this is the card that I think is most comparable to the Bubble Zoro in this set.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any coincidence about that. Nami obviously is a very popular character, even though the card is named Zeus. I know the card is named Zeus, but let's be honest, people are there because of Nami as well as Sanji. I think the art. I really need to see this card in person to see if it gives me that sensation that the Bubble Zoro did. Because my God. It was seeing the Bubble Zoro that really sold it for me, so I really need to see this card in person before I make any judgment about it. But what I will say is I could see it following a trajectory like the Bubble Zoro. I'm not going to say that I would be shocked. But I think for this one, it probably is just a safer bet to wait. I would still wait on it. Wait until official release happens this week, this Friday, see what people are posting it for. Wait a couple, 2 to 3 weeks to see how the market's looking. What's the population looking like? Of course, this is a 9 SP set. We're still in a world where product is near impossible for a lot of people to find, especially at an affordable price. The reality is there's just not going to be many of those. I mean, if you want to use the Bubble Zoro as a reference point, I mean, the Bubble Zoro PSA 10 pop count right now is right around 1,000 already, which is like the quickest you've ever seen for an SP. Everyone's getting it graded, but still at the end of the day, guys, 1,000 pop count is nothing in the world of trading card games. It's really, really low. Do I think we're going to see it go over that? Of course. I think the Bubble Zoro is probably going to have a similar pop count to the OP-04 Boa, which I think is right around 2,000 pop. I could see that for the Zoro, maybe a little bit more. But again, 2,000 pop count, guys, is still it's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
It's a nothing burger on the map of cards. So I would wait for this one, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it does go up.
Dude, this one is hilarious. I remember when I first saw this card on X, I thought it was fan-made. I literally thought it was fan-made because
it's Pikachu Nami, man.
Because someone said that Zeus looked like Pikachu, and I was like, I looked at it and I was like, that literally looks like Pikachu.
Like AI, little ChatGPT angle,
electricity coming everywhere. The little like
red cheeks
thing, the face. Like, I just remember thinking like, wow, okay, the fan made card. Like I know with Gengar Nami, blah blah blah. Like, no way Bandai would.
You thought this was a chat angle, huh? ChatGPT had to do this.
No way Bandai would be leaning into this. And no, this is a real card. And why I'm bringing this up is I could totally see some fucking stupid shenanigans, like the Gengar Nami again, like that one.
A little pumping up action, huh?
Yeah, that one guy who fucking pumped up the Gengar Nami. That dude's so dumb. But I could totally see that happening with this card at some point. And this just like out of nowhere being like a $1,500 card, like
cashing in the one over the Zeus, huh? Over the Pikachu Nami, man, that's crazy.
I'm not. By the way, I'm saying I could see that happening, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. I like realistically, this should go down a little bit. Short term should go down a little bit, and then long term, of course, this is one of the better cards in the set, and it has Nami in it. Like Nick said, these SPs specifically. I mean, Bandai was in their bag with the gold accents that they do. So I could see this being a very, very expensive card years down the line. But short term, I see this coming down a little bit. Unless that stupidity like Pokemon like crossover shit happens again, then I can see some like shenanigans happening with that. But I would always stay away from any Pokemon like shenanigans that like this goes up and everyone's talking about it and some short term like pump and dump scheme just because it looks like a Pokemon. I would always stay away from that. But yeah, I think this is one of the stronger SPs in the set. Has Nami on it. Really cool card. I think $778 is probably just a little bit high. I would compare this to Zoro, and I think the Zoro one's better. And maybe I'm biased, but I don't care. That's where I'm at with that one. Let's go on to the next one, which is the Law one. This one is another
A
one.
little spicy.
This one is $325 right now. Really fucking cool card. Like, really cool.
I love the texturing.
Dude, it's really
the
cool.
texturing is so cool.
I'll be honest though, I did not. When you look at this and I covered that, you would not think this is a green card, bro.
Oh, absolutely not. I had to do double take because someone was like, "I hate that I'm gonna need 4 of these in my green deck." I was like, "Hold up, wait a minute. That's the bouncing law, the one that I run in Zoro? No way."
Yeah, exactly. Now, really, dude, like genuinely best law card, without a doubt. There's not a single law card that I could think of that is better than this card. So this is the best law card, without a doubt. Subjectively, of course, not objectively. That's an opinion, not a fact. Shout out Flacco.
Shout out Flacco anyways. I guess I was going to say not shout out Flacco, but I got shout out Flacco.
Yeah, really cool card, but this is another card that is like meta defining. Like this is in like every green deck. Mihawk, Bonnie, Zoro, every green deck in the future will likely run this just because it's a blocker. It can cheat out a unit. It's good statted.
You can get up to 11 Dawn for the price of 6, which for green is unheard of.
Yeah,
so.
it's just a really good card. So I mean, if this ever goes out of the meta, I can see this coming down in price. But yeah, you're playing a game with that one. When it rotates out, this can be a card to pick up in a couple years. But other than that, short term, see this coming down a little bit. Of course, like the other SPs, maybe in the like 200 to 250, maybe around there. Maybe 200 is a little bit low. Maybe just like 250 is what I'll say, just because of how good this card is and how cool it is. And I know there's a lot of lock collectors. So this one, I wouldn't be surprised if this stayed at the price that it was. But honestly, it's just like we're not in the FOMO market that we were in with OP-14. We're still in a very hot market, but just not as crazy as it was. So you should expect every set that comes out, pre-sale prices to be higher than the prices that they will be in a couple weeks. So I see this coming down, but it's really cool. I think any collector should definitely look at this one. I think it's really freaking cool, especially if you're a lock collector. Honestly, all the ones that we talked about so far, maybe besides the Newgate, unless you're a Newgate collector, but the Zeus one and this one I think are awesome pickups. Awesome pickups in a couple weeks, maybe, or 2 a month.
Yeah, the law is definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. I would not be shocked. The only thing I have to add to what you said, I would not be shocked if I saw one in front of this card as well. Only reason why I say that is because I think this is going to follow a very similar one to the Newgate. Law is just a more popular character than Newgate. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a buff for that. But if Newgate does end up being around 175, I could see Law going for like 190. So we'll see. Again, time will tell on this one. I definitely would recommend you guys wait, as Dom just mentioned, for those reasons. But I would not be shocked if I saw a 1 in front of that card at one point.
Mm-hmm. And then the next one, Boa Hancock SP.
Ooh, Boa collectors, man.
I mean,
Boa collectors can't get a break, man. Can't get a break.
I feel like this is another thing that we say all the time, but is this the best Boa SP?
You stop it right now. You stop it. You stop it right now. You stop it.
I mean, I think it's better than the OP-09 one. I think it's better.
Let's do a power ranking right now for 5 Boa SPs. Let's do the quick power ranking for you.
Wait, I only know 4. What's the 5th one? I know 9. I know 14.
EBO3, OP-04.
Oh, EBO3. Okay, perfect. Yep. Okay, I'm here.
Run it.
All right. I think
worst to best.
now that the OP-14 recency bias is out of the way, I think that's worst. Now that I'm done with the recency bias. I don't know what was in my head, but I thought it was one of the better ones. But now when I look at them all comparatively, I would say OP-14 Boa SP, I probably at the bottom. Still good, by the way. Still good. OP-14 SP, Boa SP at the bottom. Then I would put, I'm gonna say it, OP-04 SP, 4th place. 3rd place.
So someone come save me, man. I'm about to throw up right now. Go ahead.
3rd place, I would put OP-09 SP. 2nd place, I would put EBO3 SP, and then first place, I would put this one. I just think, I just like this one. I mean, this one doesn't have fucking ginormous bazongas in your face, but I think objectively, it's a freaking awesome card. I think it's an awesome card, this OP-15 one.
I'm so startled.
That's my top one.
I'm so startled by what you said that I forgot my list order and now I have to rethink about it. So
Okay.
let me start here. I agree that I think OP-14 is probably the worst. Then I would slot OP-09.
Okay.
Then I would slot next after that. I would go OP-15. I'd go OP-15 there in the middle, number 3. At the second place, I would put...
Let me ask you a question.
Second place... No, let me finish what I'm going to say first. Second place, I'd go with EBO3. And then first, I would go with my personal favorite BOA card of all time.
I don't hate it.
The OP-04 BOA SP. That thing is a work of art. It is a masterpiece. I've known it since day... When I got into collecting, there was 2 cards that was like, at some point in my life, I need to own. Actually, 3 cards. Sorry, 3 cards. The first one was the Onami SP. The second one, Gear 5 Manga Luffy. And the third one was that BOA SP. I remember, like, checking eBay every single day for a month just to look at the card. That card is a work of art. You BOA fans at home, what do you guys think?
Oh, I would love to know
We would love to know where you guys rank the 5 BOA SPs. But go ahead, Dom. What's the price on that one looking like right now for the 5?
Yeah, this one isn't on TCG Player, so I'm looking on eBay right now.
I think I saw 680, 700, right around there.
I think it might be a little bit lower. Let me just double confirm that. It is, yeah, last sold $595, $625. Okay, so let's just say $600.
Sure.
$600. I'm going to say not bad. Not bad.
This is one of those ones, though.
Probably going to go down, but not bad.
This is the second one I would put in that category of it's really hard to gauge. And I would recommend people use caution. And what I mean by that, let's use the Buds order of operations here. Is Boa Hancock a popular character? Bink. Check that one off.
Yeah.
Let's go to the second part. Is it a manga, an SP, or a limited edition promo card? Check off. SP. What does that mean? You're likely going to have a good amount of retained value over time. That being said, we are still in pre-release. I'm not going to jump the gun here and say that this one is going to get the Bubble Zoro treatment or the Boa SP treatment from OP-14. We're just shot up to the moon, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think if we didn't have a bazillion Boa SPs in the last 3 months, I think this would be an $800 card right now. That's where I'm at.
A little Boa fatigue out there, huh?
I think there's a lot of Boa fatigue.
Think some
Bro,
Boa
constant.
Fatigue.
It's just
dude,
literally
they are just pumping
set,
up the Boa stuff. Even at the
pre-release
event.
Bro.
Pre-release event was a Boa.
Yeah, it was a Boa winter card. Yeah, it's just literally every set we have a Boa SP, and I think dude, I mean, it stops feeling special. Like, when that Bubble Zoro, when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, dude. I need to grab this immediately. Like, I need that. Need it. But if there was a Zoro SP for 3 sets in a row, and then there was a 4th one, I'd be like, I need it because I'm a Zoro collector. But, I mean, I could wait, like I just... It stops having that just something special. You stop feeling as hyped for an SP or like a specific character if you just keep getting it over and over and over again.
And to make the argument on behalf of Bandai here, I think we're going to get some alleviation at some point.
We can hope.
Of the same repetitive characters being used for the SP slots. Again, SPs are typically designated to meta cards for popular characters. Like that's like the perfect combo. I can imagine in their minds. Boa is a deck that is, popular for sure. They're definitely pumping out a lot more Boa cards to give her that support. But I can see Bandai.
This is red Boa.
I could see Bandai sharing some love. You know what I was thinking about the other day? How many Tony Chopper SPs are there out there?
Bro, I want a Tony Chopper SP.
How many Frankie SPs are there out there?
I don't give a shit about Frankie.
How many Brook SPs are there out there?
That'd be kind of cool, actually. They could do some cool shit.
All I'm saying is this, man, is there is a whole universe out there of popular characters. Like, don't get me wrong, is Boa the same popularity as Frankie? Obviously not, but I think they can share the love a little more. They can definitely share the love a little bit more, and I would like to see Bandai do that. Let's expand the horizons. I know right now it's very chaotic, convoluted time, going to worldwide release. You have so many sets coming out. We literally have 2 sets being merged into one. I mean, it's just a ridiculous time in the card game. It's hard to gauge. It's hard to view One Piece the way it is now as the way it has been, if that makes sense, because right now is such a unique time. So, if we do go back to the way, it was a year ago, and I'm not saying the market will go back to the way it was a year ago, but just the way the set operations were and, what the meta kind of looked like, and that you had a lot of consistency in what you were expecting, I think we could definitely see that fatigue go away. But I can understand what you're saying. I can definitely understand what you're saying. But my overall take in terms of the price on this one, I would personally wait. I would still wait, gauge the market, see where it goes. If it does end up going up in the next couple of months, at most you might lose $100 in my opinion, maybe $150. We'll see. But this is one of those things where I think it's just safer to pump the brakes a little bit. Don't give in to your FOMO if you're a boat collector.
Yeah, this is the one where it's lower than I expected it to be, but I think it's because of the fatigue. But also because of that fatigue, I think there's opportunity because of that. I think in the future, because there will always be BOA collectors, always people who come into the card game who are new and are like, oh, I like BOA, I like to collect BOA cards, and they will always come back to these cards and they'll buy these cards. So there will always be demand for these cards, and they won't be fatigued in the future, like a year or 2 years down the line. But everyone right now probably are pretty fatigued, and that might give you some opportunity. This might be, I do think this is lower than I thought it would be. I do think it'll go down. I think everything. I think all these cards are going to go down slightly because we are no longer in that, like I've already said this, we're not in that OP-14, OP-13, like, oh my God, like One Piece is literally printing money, like I need to buy this card now, it's going to multiply by 2, and then there was no communication from Bandai, we had no idea if they were going to do anything, no longer in that anymore. We're back to the regularly scheduled program of things coming out in pre-release, being high, and then pre-release being higher than what it is 2 weeks down the line. But I would say it's similar to what we know of. It's just instead of it being like $200 going down to $150, now it's like $600 going down to like $500, just because of how much popularity the card game has got. So it's still the same trajectory. It's just with higher prices because of the popularity has increased dramatically. So yeah, BOA I can see going down to like 500, 525, but I even think 600 is a good buy for this card personally. But I do think it's going to go down. I think you'll have an opportunity to pick it up at a better price over the next 2 to 8 weeks.
Don't hate it at all. But let's move on to the SP that I think the most is an X factor in my opinion. The Luffy SP.
Luffy SP is
Luffy SP.
Sick.
What's Luffy SP currently going for?
All right, so the Luffy SP, last 2 sales on eBay, because I can't find it on TCG Player, is going for last sale $740, and then there was another sale for $650. So let's just put it in the middle, say $690.
Do I think it's going to go down? Yes, I think it's going to go down. But the reason why I say it's the X factor is just because.
Look at that card, actually.
I know. I saw someone holding it in person over here at Pomona. Someone had an actual copy crazy. In their binder. That card, to me, without a doubt, is the best regular Luffy SP. I know people always put up the asterisks and the wrinkles because Luffy does technically have 2 wanted posters. The wanted posters
Those are
SPs.
Come on,
they
man.
are SPs. Yada yada yada. But if we're looking at the 3 regular SPs that Luffy's gotten, which is going to be OP-11. OP-13, and now with OP-15, I think there's only 3 SPs that Luffy's ever gotten.
I got a hot take. Those other ones are kind of. I'm not gonna say they're bad. I think they're just a little.
I like Luffy Taro. I think the Luffy Taro definitely is a cool card. The OP-13 one, I agree, is underwhelming, but
this is the first crazy one.
This SP for Luffy goes hard.
Yeah, this one's crazy.
Way hard. And again, this is one of those cards where you really got to see that texture in person. Crazy. You got to see the texture in person to really understand how crazy this card is. I could see this one. You were just talking about fatigue with BOA. Don't be wrong. Do I think there's plenty of people out there with Luffy fatigue in the One Piece card game? Maybe for mangas, still. Still some Luffy fatigue in the mangas, but for SPs, Luffy really does not.
This is one of the best designed Luffy cards. Like, I think there's like, if I was a Luffy collector and I saw this card, I would be like, whoa. It's like a gigantic leap in quality of SP that we haven't seen for Luffy yet. And I think I think you're right. I think if there was any card that was either going to stay the same or go up, I think it would be this card, even though I still think this card is likely going to go down just because of just typical pre-release shit, man. Like, prices are super high, more come on the market, but I do think this will be the chase hit for the set.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about with the typical pre-release shit, just, for the newer collectors out there who might be watching, the way TCG Player works is that you can only post cards for sale during pre-release if you are a verified seller, which is a card shop. So regular people who might have an account can't sell unless they're a verified seller. And with that being said, you always see inflated prices. On top of that, again, what do we always emphasize here? You want to wait for all the cards to flood into the market before you look to purchase some of these raw cards. And pre-release is probably the worst time for supply. There's a lot of demand because people want these cards. In terms of cards in circulation, it's very limited because people still need to rip through these boxes, right? So fast forward 2-3 months when most of these boxes have been ripped and they're running low on supply for OP-15, that's when you're going to see the most amount of these cards that are going to be in your local card shop, local area. So that's going you're going to want to look to strike. But I agree. I think this Luffy card is the one really where I could see it. I could definitely see a world where we look back in 2 months from now and that card's going for $800.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. Personally, I would love to own that SP. I will own it at some point, but just not now, not within the next 2 weeks. I'm going to wait the 2 months, take a step back, learn from my mistakes from OP-14, and
it wasn't a mistake, bro. I don't think what you did with OP-14 was a mistake. I know you keep saying that. I think there was only one.
I definitely made a mistake on like 90% of those SPs. For those of you guys who don't know and you're a new viewer, I gave into the FOMO, gave myself a 6 out of 10 on the FOMO scale. I pretty much purchased most of the SPs during, like, in between the first 2 weeks. So, like, halfway through pre-release versus 2 weeks after release, which is something I wouldn't even recommend. But I did it just because of the chaos that was going on at the time. 9 SPs, and of course, affecting the hit rate, being that instead of it being you get every SP ideally in 3 cases, now you're looking at 4.5 cases of product you have to go through and hope you don't get any dupes. Of course, supply and demand going on right now at that point in the One Piece trading card game market. I ended up overpaying for probably, I'd say, 3 or 4 SPs. One in particular pretty bad, which was the Weevil. But, like I said, I'd rather be paying more money in 2 months from now than have overpaid during pre-release. Personally, that's my learned lesson from that one.
My logic is there was logic within what we were thinking. This is the first set with 9 SPs. The market was in a state where it was just, like I said, with no interference from Bandai, those SPs would be on the moon right now. I just know for a fact, bro. Besides Weevil.
What were we thinking?
I don't know what the hell was going on there, but I get what you're saying, but no, I think it's a side point. Anyways, let's move on to the Sabo. Let's move on to Sabo.
No, let's go ahead and let's speed run these. The reason why I say that is we already established that there are predictions going to be that all these are going to go down.
Yeah, let's do both Sabos at the same time.
Okay.
So there's 2 different Sabos, and honestly, I'm looking at sales on eBay, and they're both selling for $250. So let's just make it easy, $250. We've already said that we think things are going down, probably they're in the short term going to go down. If you made it to this far in the video, for the SPs, for the manga, for the booster boxes, Nick and I think, and we are going to be buying things probably starting in 2 to 3 weeks if we see very, very very, very big drops. And then it can go for anywhere from another additional 4 weeks. So I think a good window of buying is going to be in 3 weeks to 8 weeks. That's where I'm at, just right before the new set drops. or right when the new set drops. That's where I'm at. So if you made it to this far in the video, that's the kind of overall logic. That's the logic right there. And now we're just kind of talking about what we think of these cards, long-term value. Do we think they're going to retain value? What do we think of them? Do we think they're good pickups? That kind of stuff. Speaking of really good pickups, I think these two Sabo SPs are actually really good pickups. I think the I'm gonna say the scene. There's a scene one, and then there's a pattern
EBO4.
one.
EBO4 is the scene.
Yeah.
And 15 is the.
So I think the EBO4 one is fantastic. Really.
People say kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
sure,
they say
like that.
kaleidoscope.
Sure. We can,
Kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. Kaleidoscope.
So I think the scene one, so awesome, dude. So cool. So awesome. And I do think, I mean, if these go down after pre-release, which obviously we think these things will go down, then this is going to be in like the 100s. And I think these SPs are fantastic. I think Sabo as a character is going to have a lot of screen time going into the future.
We want to talk about fatigue, man. Sabo fatigue, man. There must be. If you're a Sabo collector out there, let us know in the comments how you're feeling, man. Sabo.
You saying there's someone at Bandai, man?
Dude, I will never forget. There was a comment where someone was like, "Can you?" This was like 2 months ago. They were like, "Can you please talk about the amount of Sabo cards they're making right now?" And then they announced the 2 SPs in one set. It's like, damn. There's some Sabo fatigue going on. I think for this one, definitely gonna go down. For sure, in my opinion, you'll be seeing a 1 in front of both cards. I can't tell you when. Can't tell you where. I think I definitely think the scene from EBO4 looks better than the Kaleidoscope, but the Kaleidoscope also looks super dope. I'm not going to say it's bad by any means, but I think you'll definitely be seeing a 1. Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it. You'll definitely be seeing a 1 in front of both cards, in my opinion.
Dude, these cards are sick as
I
hell.
remember someone at pre-release was asking if I wanted to buy the Sabo. I was going for like $600. And
This guy,
I was like, honestly,
hell no.
I was like, honestly, bro, I think like at max that card would be worth $400. Like,
what did he say? He was like, I'll do 75%.
Yeah, dude. He was like, I'll do 80%. 80% was like 420. It was like 450 or something. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like at max, like in 5 years from now, I was like,
I'll give you 20%.
I was like, at 5 years from now, I think this card would be worth like $400. And he was like, what would be in the middle of 425? And I said, gang,
It ain't gonna happen.
it ain't happening today. Ain't happening, my dude. Appreciate that.
Anel one's pretty dope. I like that one.
Super meta, Anel is definitely a meta card. Again, I think this one probably would be more expensive than I could see it be more expensive than the Sabos. I think there'll be a 1 in front of it, but I think it could be more expensive than the Sabos.
All right, so there's one sale for the Anel for $375, but that was a couple days ago, and then there's one on eBay, lowest listed at $275. So people probably don't want this one as much as the other ones, just because there's not as many sales. So
I think it's a player's card. To be honest with you, don't be wrong. Is there an Anel collector out there? Possibly, probably was probably the answer. But is Anel? Is he gonna potentially come back? We don't know. Still, it's up for speculation. But this card is very meta. Very meta card.
all right, well, those are. I mean, there's a couple more SPs, but let's just move on from the SPs.
Let's get into the treasure rare, man.
Treasure
Tell
rare,
the people
dude.
at home, as a diehard Zoro fan and collector, how you're feeling, what your take is on that treasure
gas,
rare.
Bro. This treasure rare is gas, dude. I definitely need a couple of these for sure. This treasure rare is goated. One of the first really amazing.
Do I dare
treasure
say
rares.
it? Actually, I don't even need to dare say it. It ain't even a hot take. It's a fact, not opinion. Shout out Flacco. This is the best treasure rare that has ever come out in English, bro. Best treasure rare that's ever come out in English.
Better than Egghead Luffy.
Not even close. Knocks it out of the park.
I mean, I agree.
It's not even close, in my opinion. We were at Pomona Regional. We already discussed this. That card was inside one of the vendors' cases. I saw that card. I immediately looked at Dom, and I'm like, sheesh, my dude, that is a fire card.
Bro, Bandai heard me talking shit about treasure rares, and they said,
we got you.
I took that personally.
Looking like
bro.
MJ right now.
Yeah, but there's a couple things to talk about here. So first of all, this treasure rare is now going for $175, which is higher than most treasure rares that we see. First of all, like everything else,
Rocket Boot Luffy, I just looked up 180 right now. 180.
Well, I mean, like on release, like
gotcha.
usually these things come out. What, like 50, 70 bucks?
60, 70.
Yeah. But this is really high. Number one, Zoro, of course. A lot of Zoro collectors right here. Shout out my boys. Shout out my boys and girls. But This card is gas. This is my favorite treasure rare that they've ever done for English. I think the French Zora treasure rares are better than this for sure. I think the Zora ones are so good, so good. I think French treasure rares are like insane, but this is the first really good English one. And man, there's speculation that treasure rares. We heard someone say that treasure rares are now 1 in 3 cases. Now, I want to be upfront here. I did research. I not watched in entirety, but I skipped the end
How could you, man?
of 7 different
How dare you.
case opening videos, and all of them but one had a treasure rare. So I don't think it's 1 in 3 cases. I'll just say that. Now I could be wrong,
1 and 2.
but maybe 1 in 2. It's definitely not guaranteed in a case.
Wasn't it the Sanchi that they did 1 and 2 of for OP-11? I think as well.
Dude, for me, I've always thought they were.
No,
every case we've had has
there
always
was.
had a
I will
treasure
never
rare.
forget the OP-11.
We've always had a treasure.
No, there was one case in particular I will not forget. We did not get a treasure rare. I know for a fact there was one because I remember.
Did we?
I was talking with someone at Locals about it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, we didn't even get a treasure rare." I was like, "Damn, tough hit rates." Anyways, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. There was one set for sure.
So, anyway, speculation that it's harder to hit. Let's just say speculation that it's harder to hit these treasure rares than usual. If that's the case, I think this is an unbelievable card to pick up, especially for a Zora collector. I think this is, if they're going to go down the road of like treasure rares are now going to be 1 in 3 cases, and they're going to make those like,
Which they should.
Yeah,
They should have done it the whole time. Make the card feel special. Make it feel unique. Don't get me wrong. If you are buying a box and that's all you can afford, or that's all you can get at MSRP and that's all you want to purchase, nothing wrong with that. Getting a treasure rare, you have a 1 in 12 opportunity. That definitely feels special. But in the overall grand scheme of collecting, a 1 per case hit rate in comparison to something that's like an SP or a manga doesn't compete. Them making these more rare, completely with it.
Yeah.
Completely with it.
This is my only wild card for me. Like everything else, I think I could confidently say that it will go down in the short term. And if it's a good card, it'll go up in the long term. And if it's just an alt art or something with a less popular character, then it'll probably just go down and fizzle out at some point. But this card, bro, this card could go up for all I know. Just because this is the first time they're doing, if they are unconfirmed, I cannot confirm this, but if they have made the treasure rare heightened rarity, starting with this card, then I think it's a wild card. And I cannot comfortably say that I think this will go down in the short term. I can't comfortably say it. Maybe you can, but I cannot. So I think at 170, I'm even thinking of getting this at 170. I'm going to be getting multiple of these. And I'm even thinking of getting it at 170. So as a Zora collector, that's just where my head's at. I'd be curious. You're not a Zora collector. Now you have Zora cards, of course. You try to collect them, all the
God knows I
stuff.
love that, man.
Yeah, of course.
Run that deck.
But what do you think about this treasure rare? Because maybe I'm biased, and
you're definitely being. I'm that's why we're here. We're here to check each other.
Yeah.
I'm definitely being biased. You're definitely being biased. Sorry.
Okay.
With what you're saying, I think this is for sure. If there was a card where I'd say wait for sure and see where it ends up, it's that one.
Oh, okay. So
I think I could definitely see it going down. I understand your logic, and I do think there is a big X factor variant being what is the actual hit rate for it? Is it really 1 in 3 cases? Of course, if it is, then you're going to see a more increased value because at that point you start entering that SP range. You start entering that limited promo range in the Bud's order of operation. We might need to update it if Bandai does keep it up and put a treasure rare in there if it really is 1 in 3 cases moving forward. Well, let's see and discuss that at a later time. But in the interim, I am not going to say this card is bad by any means. I'm not going to say it's not worthy of that price point.
So you're sticking to script. It's going to probably go down.
Yeah, I'm 100% sticking to script on this one. If you want to buy it at 175, you obviously have your expertise and judgment. But I tell you right now, you and I walk into a card shop and the guy's got it for 175. You look at me and you say, "Nick, is this goodbye?" I'd say, "Dom, wait about a month. Wait a month. Wait 2 months. Recess. Re-engage."
Okay.
Reanalyze.
Okay, all right. Well,
that's what I would say. And, like I said, that's the whole point here, man. That's why
it's good to have us to check us out. And we're checking you guys, too.
Always important to have the buds here in your corner, and we're here in each other's corner. I mean, there's been several times where Dom's just looked at me outright and be like, "Dude, what are you doing buying that card? I just don't do it. It's not worth it. Definitely not." And this would be one where If I saw that card,
Flip flop, man.
if I saw that card and you walked up and you're like, hey man, it's goodbye, I would say you gotta give that at least a month. At least a month.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to see on that one. We'll definitely have to see on that one. Let's talk about alt art events.
These are a little spicy. They're both right around like $150. Like
Nah.
they're both like right under $150. The reason why I say these are spicy is because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not going to say I'm an expert on OP-15 in terms of the meta, but both these are pretty playable.
Yeah.
They're both pretty playable. Of course, with that, you're going to see some retained value. Do I think they should be worth more than You'll Frighten Me at 130?
Yeah, but if they're playable, it's retained value for 2 years.
I know that. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like, do I think the price point is good for people to purchase that? I think it all depends. If you're a player, I mean, that's going to completely be up to you. Do you want to flash out your deck? If so, I mean, both these cards are meta if you're running the decks that require them, which are what, a Nell and... Is this just a good yellow card? I know one's a yellow card.
So the different events are the Gum Gum Golden Rifle and then the Anel one as well. So there's 2 different ones. Honestly, I think these are meh, bro. Like, I'm starting to like not like these like events. I mean, it just depends, bro. It really like I just feel like these events just depend, bro, on how they look.
It definitely depends from a collector's perspective. And again, I'm going to reiterate that. From a collector's perspective, it definitely matters. For a player, you're going to see retained value. Like I said, when you compare it to You'll Frighten Me, I think as a collector's item, I think You'll Frighten Me is a way better long-term collector's item than these manga event cards. And on the flip side of that, you have something like Dead Man's Game, which is the best of both worlds, of course, a card that you need to have in green decks as a very meta card. On top of that, I think DMG, without a doubt, is the best manga event card. I know people are going to say...
Those ones are good. Like, those, like, if it's connected to a...
Iconic sequence, Gum Gum Giant.
Yeah, exactly. But like Lightning Dragon, for example. I just want to give an example here. So this is going for $161 right now. Purple Anel, considered the best deck in format by a lot of people. I could, in 5 years from now, if I could go fast forward 5 years from now, I could see this. Of course not. I could see this being $50.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I could see that.
So that's where I'm like, I can't recommend anyone buying these, even if this like went down to like 120. I'm not buying these. These are not something that I'm buying unless I'm a player. I'm like if it's like the golden rifle, that's a Luffy one, sure. Like if you want to grab that one because it involves Luffy, then yeah, I think there's going to be some collector's value in that, and I could totally see that like retaining some value. But something like the freaking Lightning Dragon, like it's an ability from Anel. It's just
no, I agree. That's why I was making the comparison to You'll Frighten Me. I think You'll Frighten Me is a way better card. If you have $130 to spend, you want a manga event card, I'd buy You'll Frighten Me for sure over these 2 in particular. Again, I think they're hard to gauge where they're going to be at just because they're so meta and people like to flash out their decks. I think they're definitely going to go down. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up right around $75 a pop each, maybe $75, $100 maybe. But from a collector's perspective, I don't think you can go wrong. Steering clear from this. Put the 130 into DMG. Put the 130 into You'll Frighten Me. Put the 130 into Gum Gum Giant if you want to save up and pick it up at a later date.
Way better cards, yeah.
But yeah, those are just iconic scenes of collectible characters. I think that's a good point to be at for manga event cards.
Yeah, I agree. And then lastly, let's just say alt arts and alt art leaders. Like
I think there's only a couple. There's one in particular that I want to mention, and again, as the biased Zoro collector here, Yellow Zoro alt art. What's your take on that? How do you feel about that?
I think they're all going to go down, bro. I think they're all going down. Like every single one, every single alt art leader, I think is at minimum taking a 20% dip if they are really playable and highly collectible. And then I think there's going to be a ton of cards getting slashed.
That 50%.
By 50, 60%.
That 50% off sale.
Massive. Like, steer way clear of every alt-art leader. That is my honest to God take. Like, there maybe there might be 1 or 2 that don't get slashed. But I think it's so much safer to just not buy these, not even touch them.
Buds order operations, all I'm saying. That's all I have to say.
So, anyways, that's OP-15, guys. Let us know what you guys think of OP-15. Let us know if you guys agree with our takes of waiting a few weeks and then grabbing a lot of these. Or let me know if you're buying anything right now, like I'm doing with the Treasure Rare Zoro, which I think is a bit of a wild card. Nick thinks I'm completely wrong, which is totally okay. Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to Buds Buy of the Week. Buds Buy of the Week. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't know what Buds Buy of the Week is, basically every week Nick will choose a card, I will choose a card, and it'll be usually something that we're buying ourselves, and we're letting you guys know that we're buying and we think it's a good buy.
Or we already own.
Or we already own and we think it's a good buy. But yeah.
Alrighty, so for my Buds Buy of the Week, this is a card that I feel like I say this every time. This card I was very surprised to see the price it was at when I was doing my research today before the episode. And that card is going to be a card we discussed actually earlier today. Onami SP.
From OP-07.
From OP-07. This card, lowest listed, near mint, $350. Now, when you go through all the Nami SPs, you have the OP-05 Nami SP currently at $580. You have the OP-09 Nami SP at $815. And then you have the EB-03 Nami SP currently at $1140. Me personally, if we made a BOA tier list, if we were to make a Nami tier list, what's your Nami tier list looking like, actually? What do you got?
Okay, what are all the Nami SPs?
So you have OP-05, OP-09, EB-03, and then OP-07.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. There's some good ones
Nami
there.
has really
Nami has some great SPs. If you need a second while you think that, I can do mine real quick, because I got mine on mine.
Okay, yeah, do yours.
Me personally, I would probably go OP-05 Nami SP as the worst one.
I would agree with that. So we're the same right now.
Worst is subjective. Following that, I would probably slot in OP-07. Actually, that's tough. I would slot in EB-03 Nami.
Yep, I'm with you.
I would slot in.
We have the same bottom two.
I would slot in EB-03 Nami. Number 2, I would put in Booty Nami, OP-09, and then number 1, I'd do Onami. Actually, I think Onami SP. That again, there was.
That's where I'd flip.
There were 3 cards when I first got in the card game that I said I need to own one day. That was the Gear 5 Manga Luffy, the OP-04 SP Boa, and the Onami SP.
Yeah.
And this card, again, going currently lowest listed TCG player, $350. When you look through the price point again, you have OP-05 Nami SP, $580, OP-09 Nami SP, $815, EB-03 Nami SP, $1140. If you want to get a little nuance, you can throw the Zeus in here, even though Zeus is, it's Zeus, not Nami. But still, all those cards are nearly double what the OP-07 Onami is going for currently.
Sure. And
the other reason why I really like this as a potential buy is because you're seeing a healthy 2x multiplier between what a PSA 10 is going for in comparison to what a raw card is going for, which I have said is likely where we're going to end up returning to. That's the way it was in One Piece prior to the double boom happening. I think once all the dust settles and everything comes back from PSA, that's likely where we're going to go back to, where you see a PSA 10 around a 2 to 3x multiplier versus what the raw card is. So you have PSA 10 going for 700, raw card going for 350, healthy balance in there. I think this card, I think they both can go back up as the game progresses, for sure. So yeah. Nami SP, OP-07, Onami SP, that's my go-to for the Buds by the week.
I think it's a good one. I mean, that one, yeah, I would say OP-09 Nami is my top one, and then that one is like second place, just because the OP-09. I mean,
Booty Nami, man. Booty Nami.
Yeah, I love that card. It's such a sick card. That's a good pick. It's a good pick. My pick is a pick that I'm actually picking up. So I'm literally picking this up. I waited for the event to end. It was the 27th through the 29th. Just ended, so I will be picking this up now, and it's the C2E2 Zoro promo card.
Are we shocked? Are we surprised?
I mean, I like to give you guys cards that I'm actually buying. Like I mean, this is like I want this to really be a meaningful pickup, like something that I'm really buying. And this was going for this was selling for like $250 on eBay when it first came out the first couple days, which is why you should always wait, literally always wait for the event to end, or at least be more strategic. Don't buy it on the first day when it's at the peak. But yeah, now it's going for $130. I think it's a great pickup. I don't know if it's hollow. That's the only thing is I've looked at these cards and they don't. I can't tell. I literally I can't tell. So I think this might be a little risky. I'm not sure. Also, you know how they reprinted the Afro Luffy. With these event runs,
You never know.
you really never
You can
freaking
end up
know,
with
dude.
5 iterations of that card throughout the year, man.
You really never freaking know. And that's why this one is risky. But if it is not reprinted, I think it is a fantastic buy. And I will, personally, I never want to be in a position where I could have picked up something, and this isn't based off FOMO, this is based off logic. Like, we don't think this card is going to be reprinted at another event. Now, Bandai can come out and do this, but I would rather not risk, you know, Bandai. I would rather risk Bandai going back and doing more waves of this card
Than them not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And this being like $400 or $500 a card. And like I said, this isn't based on FOMO. I'm literally waiting to buy this card. I'm
using that noggin up there.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm using my
Underneath that
noggin
straw hat.
upstairs, using the peanut upstairs, and I'm grabbing this card now. That's what I'm doing. I'm grabbing it at 130. Could it go down? Maybe, but I think it's a great buy right now. That's where I'm at.
You know, I called you out on your bias for the Treasury Zoro. Got nothing to say about this one. I don't hate it.
You approve.
Don't hate it.
Nick approval. Love that. All right, well, let us know what you guys think about those buys and what you guys are buying this week. Now, let's do some Q&A. If you guys don't know, you guys can leave your questions down in the comment section down below, and we may answer yours in the next video. Our first question is going to be coming in from Ringo_Fishin, and he says, what do you guys think the SPs for OP-17 will be being an anniversary set? I have my money on the Kaleidoscope art style, like 05, 08, and 09. Hopefully we get a Loki SP. Okay.
Spoiler warning. If you are not caught up with where the anime is at.
We are not going to be talking about plot points, but we will be talking about characters. Okay. So, OP-17, we know we are going to Elbath. We know we're going to Elbath. So, are we going to get a Loki SP? I mean, I think so.
I'd be shocked if we didn't get one.
I think so. I think that would be a fantastic call. But I think we're going to God Valley. We're going to see the Rocks crew. I think we're going to see the Rocks crew. That's my take on the SPs. I think we're going to see the Rocks crew. I think we're going to see young versions of Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom. We're going to see Rocks. And I think, you know how there was the gold manga for Roger 09, and there was red mangas, like the special versions. I think we might get a special version of like a Rocks. I think it'll be a special
Black manga?
That's my take. That's my take. That's my take.
It's funny because we talked about this beforehand, and this was... we both agreed that we thought there was going to be a low-key SP, but the SPs I think they're going to have for OP-17, I think it's going to be Kaleidoscope. I think they're going to follow the trend with that. But what I do think is we're going to see wanted posters and SPs that are focused around the Straw Hats. I think we could definitely see some wanted posters for the Straw Hats. I wouldn't hate it. I think the balance is going to come through that. As in, I could see them doing wanted posters for the characters in God Valley, and I could see them doing SPs for the Straw Hats. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, I could see them doing SPs for the Straw Hats and then doing doing the wanted posters for the Straw Hats. Like, Zoro wanted poster. Mm-hmm. How fire would that be? Especially, like, the transition.
Need that, man.
Leaving out of Wano. We still haven't seen those wanted posters.
Wow,
even though
I need that.
That is a very iconic scene when Luffy sees his wanted poster post-Wano and the Straw Hats see it and everyone's freaking out. Mm-hmm. So I think at some point we're going to get those. And I think if Bandai continues to have the wanted posters only be provided in anniversary sets, I don't hate it. I don't hate them doing this, but then I could see them having the wanted posters be for the members at God Valley. I'm not going to say who it was, but I could for sure see that. And then the SPs be focused on the Straw Hat. So I think there's going to be a flip-flop is what I'm saying. I think you're going to have the Kaleidoscope SPs that are either going to be the Straw Hats or they're going to be the characters from God Valley. And then if that's the case, whatever isn't chosen as the Kaleidoscope SPs are going to be chosen for the wanted posters.
Yeah, I will say, just to like maybe counter myself, is do we really think Bandai is going to make an anniversary set without the most popular characters as like some of the biggest chase cards?
I
Probably
think
not.
you'd have a stretch.
Yeah,
You definitely have a stretch with that.
So probably a mixture of both. I guess I would change mine to like you're saying. I think we're going to get, because actually the Linlin card that I run in UP Luffy has the Rocks tag on it, so we know that those characters are coming. We know they're coming. So I maybe I would change it to like a morph, like you're saying, like maybe some Straw Hat stuff, but with the Rocks crew. So yeah, that's a good take. It's a good take. Our last question comes in from Lord R6, and he says, with the rotation coming in soon, when is the best time to actually invest time into a deck and get into the game? Also, where is the best place to look for videos or deck lists? So I mean, for videos,
Great question.
videos, YouTube. Deck lists, we use gumgum.gg, sponsor us. And then there's also, if you look up One Piece decks and Limitless, that's another good website. So I would say those two sites for deck lists and stuff like that, if you want to net deck something. And then, of course, I think YouTube. Just look up YouTube.
Well, go ahead and give some YouTubers out there that you've watched personally who have helped you out. I have a couple of mine. You can
Sure.
say yours.
So I like hashtag EMB. I think he's really good. he can be a little toxic sometimes, but I think he's really good. So shout out to him. Hashtag EMB. Honestly, that's one of the only people I watch religiously. As like I like to watch this guy and see how he's playing a deck. So I can't really shout out anyone else, but that's my go-to. That's my guy.
For me, I watch Mr. Pow. He does a lot of like off-meta rogue decks, and also he plays a lot of decks that have not been released yet. So he does a lot of deck testing that I think is really helpful. Of course, Flacco. He does post some gameplay videos, which I think are entertaining. They're very funny. But he's always posting content in relation to the actual card game itself. If you're looking for just really, really funny content to watch, I think his stuff is arguably the funniest on YouTube. But if you're looking for like more serious stuff, Vampire Gaming, I think they have good stuff. Yeah, so those would be the ones I recommend.
And then he says, with the rotation coming in soon, when is the best time to actually invest time into a deck and get into the game? I think this is actually a great question, specifically because when a new set comes out, like everyone says, like every deck is viable. Like when we see reveals, like for example, for OP-15, everyone was saying that Brook would be really good. Then you put it into practice. Is Brook really as good? Maybe, but we saw some people saying it would be like best deck in format, but then more actual playtime starts happening, and then we start figuring out, okay, Enel, Lucy, really, really strong, 2 strong decks coming out. And then on the flip side of that, Rebecca. People thought Rebecca from this set that just came out would be trash, like bottom of the barrel, not usable, and then people actually play it, and then they realize that it's actually maybe a little bit better than expected. So it's definitely like not black and white. I actually think that this is a really, really good question, and I respect the hell out of it. And I think the best time to invest and buy into a deck, especially right now, is just wait like a week after things have kind of like settled, or maybe just a couple days if you don't want to wait that long, just to see how the meta actually evolves and see like what decks are actually placing. Another one that I thought would be really good is Blue Jinbei back in the last set. And it was nowhere near. No one's even using Blue Jinbei. I think there was one Blue Jinbei regionals, but he did pretty good actually. But no one's really using that anymore. So if you want to be competitive, that's what I would do. That's what I would do personally, is wait a couple days, see how the meta shapes, and then once you know something is good, then okay, this is good, this is placing, I'm going to now invest my money into it. Now, me personally, I don't bling out my deck because I think
it's cardboard.
No shame to anyone who does. I think that's cool if you want to do that, but the meta just changes too much, and I'm not spending like thousands of dollars on a deck that I'm going to be using for like a month and a half or 2 months if it rotates out. Like, not happening. Not doing it. But yeah, that's my take.
I think the main thing that I need to add on top of that is this really does depend on what your aspirations are with the game. Mm-hmm. If you are just a casual player and you want to be able to play locally and you want to be able to compete, I would say just look at a deck that is consistent and has proven performances, and I would play something like Emu, something like Ace. decks that sure Emu is going to be really really good going to OP-15 still, but like Ace for example, is sure can they ban the 8 cost I'm Whitebeard tomorrow? Definitely possible, but even if that does happen, Ace has a proven track record where he could still be viable and played, and that's why I think it really depends. If it also depends on what brings you happiness when you play the card game. I know several people who have a favorite character and they just like playing that character. There was someone at our locals who I played against who was a diehard Uta fan and they played green Uta. There's another person who's a diehard Rosie fan and he was on the purple Rosie train the entire time before purple Rosie became meta. So this really just comes down to what your aspirations are as a player. If you want to compete at the highest level, if you want to play at regionals, you're going to need to be tracking the meta very, very actively. You're watching a lot of YouTube videos. I think it's an understatement to say, I don't think people truly understand unless you try to compete at a high level in One Piece as a card game, the amount of time that really goes into it. And that's one thing that I've had like a come to Jesus moment about. When I was transitioning out of playing Zoro into playing Mihawk and having to really learn all this stuff from OP-14 and then going back to the additions of EBO3 and having to learn all these new decks. As someone who's played consistently over the last 6 months, it is really, really time consuming. And if you're constantly flip flopping your deck, aside from being a financial strain, you're looking at a huge amount of time in your life. So it's like, do you really have that time to put out there, be able to learn all these matchups? I didn't. So what did I do? I pick the deck I'm most comfortable with.
Back to the bread butt, man.
Exactly. I played the deck that I'm most comfortable with. So if that is who you are and you just want to have the free time and you have a deck that you've already played, you've already made, and you're comfortable in it, then I think you can always make changes to a deck and make it competitive. I think the game... you're right. That's a stretch. I think if a deck was at some point good, like
still
really
has to be good,
yeah. I think if a deck, like, okay, they do tier lists all the time. If your deck is on one of those tier lists, A, B, C, I think you can compete. And win a couple games, have a good time. But again, it all depends on the level you want to go to. If you're competing locally and that's all you want to do, you can definitely play an ABC deck and be able to compete. You could play a rogue deck and be able to compete. But if you want to do something at a higher level, it really takes some nuance. So in terms of time to invest and buy to a deck, I agree with Dom. I think you need to wait to see what the meta looks like before you spend a bunch of money. A prime example of this was BY Boa in OP-14. Everyone thought that deck was going to dominate the meta. And then she got solved in 2 weeks. And, of course, she's still relevant right now because she's gotten some more support. But, I mean, that deck got solved in less than a month. And all these people spent all this money on all these alt arts. And, I think Boa went from being played by like a third of our local pods to
nobody plays it anymore.
To now like maybe 2 or 3 people who play her pretty regularly. So it really, like I said, a lot of this stuff is going to depend. But I always wait. For me, I only deck I've ever bought an Altar for was Zoro, and that's just because I love Zoro as a character. Zoro as a leader was the main reason why I even wanted to play the card game. Dom and I played the card game a little bit prior to that. Just because, again, we are firm believers that you need to be able to participate in the community and be able to play the game if you want to maximize your collecting aspirations as well. And it was the Zoro deck that really piqued my interest, as being like, oh, dude, that's dope. You can swing twice. Like, that sounds super fun. And once I got into Zoro, I just refined my deck, and that's it. It's just every time a new meta comes, I don't think I'm going to transition away from Zoro unless he becomes actually just genuinely unplayable. like you remember old Rebecca, like OP-02 Rebecca? Actually, no. I just remember old Rebecca being absolutely trash. Not the new one, but like the older version, just like unplayably bad. If it turns into something like that, then sure, I might have to make an adjustment at that point and figure out what I'm doing. But if this weekend taught me anything, it's that I can play against the best players in the world in a meta that's pure chaos with that deck. And so a lot of it's just going to come down to what your aspirations are. So best of luck. Thanks for the question.
Thank you so much for the question. All right, well, that's been this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to us yap about OP-15, our experience at regionals, and the ban list. Nick, want to cap us off for the day?
As always, guys, thank you so much for spending what I think is probably an hour and 10 minutes. Someone felt like a long one. But roughly an hour, 10 hour, 15 minutes of your busy lives to be here with us. The Buds, as we discuss something we all love, being the One Piece trading card game. As I always like to add in the last 15 seconds of the video, we're going to leave up 2 playlists here. One on the left is going to be the Beginner Guide series, where I teach you everything that you need to know when it comes to collecting the One Piece trading card game. And the one on the right is going to be all previous episodes of Buds Watch, where we do our best to give you some guidance along in your collecting journey.
All right, guys. Catch y'all
on the next one.
Peace.